Do you know at the powder keg that with the bar staff, the one song they requested was Eastbound and Down. And I was like, thank God we supplied the soundtrack for this podcast
Thank God,
at one point because we played it for him.
Guess what I've seen twice now on Facebook?
What?
It is a riding lawnmower painted black with
Like the Bandit?
Like the Bandit. And it says Eastbound and Ground or something. I don't know, like East Ground. I don't, but it's a riding lawnmower paint. Yeah.
That's really funny.
And you were the first people I thought of. Like, I didn't think of, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God.
It does date the three of us real fast.
You should probably put that on as your lead song today again. No. I bet you don't even have it anymore, do you?
I wonder if I have
I'm just kidding. Don't do it. That's fine. I forget, but we owed you like a couple of new theme songs and we never delivered, I don't think, right? Weren't we supposed to record you a new theme song and we just kind of dropped the ball on that?
Oh, yeah, that's what we think left and right. Y'all
give us a
always
request
dropping
and
the
we'll
ball.
figure it out for you guys.
As long as it's on the list, right?
No, we'll learn a special one for you.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, as long as it's within reason. We're not going to do the Dead Kennedys.
Not again.
Well, not again. Man, I'm disappointed already. Oh. Well, it might come from that genre, though.
We started playing Oasis recently. That's
What about like Candlebox?
I don't even know. I don't know the words that are coming out of your mouth right now.
I don't even know the words that are coming out.
I'll be honest, I don't know if I can think of a song either. I mean, I know the
from Candlebox.
I can picture the cover of the CD.
Yeah.
Something about a placenta falling to the ground, or
No, that's live.
oh, that's a horrible
That's
song
live.
too.
Yeah, that is a horrible song.
That was the same time though, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. No, you're yeah, like that year, that album came out from Live, Vitology, Soundgarden, it's 1994.
Now you're saying words that I recognize.
Yeah,
But
you just said two good bands.
what was the
in
one you started
response to
with?
the other
Candlebox.
Never heard of Candlebox.
All right, here we go. Before we got it. Sorry.
Make that your intro song, dude.
Well, it's
You got copyright shit.
yeah,
you
we
gotta worry about.
can't do that shit. But
Do you think Candlebox is coming after
well,
us?
that not Candlebox.
The record company.
record company is-
the rights, yeah.
Do you think that company is an issue? Oh, Candlebox.
Oh,
They might be one of your 7
You know
listeners.
this
You
one.
never know.
I would love that.
No, they're.
Oh yeah,
You know this.
yeah. I got about this far before I
No. So far, no. I don't even know the song yet.
fast forward. There are worse bands.
I've
It is
never
a
heard
band
this
of
song
its
in my
time.
life.
You have 100% heard this song.
Bullshit, you've heard this song before.
What's the chorus?
I think it's this. It doesn't.
Honest to God,
No,
I've
it's
never
coming
heard
up.
this
It's
song.
I cannot imagine you've not heard this song.
What year is this?
I'm gonna say 94-ish.
Like Soundgarden, I know. These guys I've never heard of. Interesting. Okay.
This is what we call
Start
a
your show.
tangent. This is a tangent.
You haven't even started the show, have you?
Well, I'm
Oh, no,
recording, so I can use it.
Recorded a long time ago. Yes.
We gotta wait for the chorus to come in, and then we'll roll.
And then we have to blur all of this.
Nope. Still nothing.
I say come after us. We're going to play this whole song. There it is. This is the song that bought them maybe not a house, but maybe a van.
They probably bought him a house back then. Oh,
I'm fascinated by how many songs I don't know. As many as I do know, there's so many that
What
like
did
that.
you-
I'm like, I've
yeah.
never heard that song.
what did you listen to in the 90s? Because it's like vintage 90s grunge music.
I was a little bit ahead of grunge. I was probably in the alt rock scene in the mid '90s, like
Okay.
Hootie and the Blowfish, and who else would have been in there? Collective Soul.
Okay.
The Canadians. What are their names?
What?
Bare Naked Ladies.
Nickelback, a little bit of that? No.
I never know. Dude, if you played a Nickelback song for me right now, I wouldn't be able to.
You would know
I
the
wouldn't.
Nickelback song.
Same with Taylor Swift, and I'm not joking. If you played a Taylor Swift song, I would not know who.
What?
I literally mean that, and I'm not trying to be a smart ass or anything. I
Well,
don't
if that's
know.
just not what you listen to, then,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
All right.
But I listen to a lot of music, and so it's always cool when I'm like, oh, this is from when I should have been knowing this stuff, and I still don't know it. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking up that band right now, and then we're going to
Candlebox?
close this argument. I would not put them in grunge. I was right in the middle of grunge, and Candlebox is not a band that we talked about. So it might have been at that time, but that doesn't mean that it was.
Yeah, it was, and it's
Just watch
This is
yourself.
Nickelback.
Just watch it.
Okay, I recognize his voice.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd probably guess wrong 3 times before I finally figured out it was Nickelback.
We've gotten a lot of shit through the years.
Yeah. One of the most made fun of bands. I don't know why.
I would have guessed
for some
Kings of
reason.
Leon first on that one, and I would have been wrong.
Yeah, you would have been wrong.
I think Nickelback was overexposure. There was a lot of that.
That's a insult to Kings of Leon.
I went and saw Kings of Leon. I saw Kings of Leon at USANA. So I
same.
know who
They're
they are,
really, really good.
Yeah.
I didn't do any notes, but maybe we don't need them. I'll pull it up just in case.
Do you not do an intro for this show or anything anymore? You just jump right in?
No, there's kind of an intro.
This is the intro.
Oh,
Where Arts and Adventure Summits the airwaves.
Oh, that's what I was waiting for. I didn't think you were recording any of this until you said that.
Okay. Where Arts and Adventure Summits the airwaves. This is the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show with
Todd Oberndorfer.
And I'm R. Brandon Long. We are your hosts for the greatest arts and adventure podcast in all the land. Our guest today, you're gonna have to shorten name. It's not the full name. So the full name, I can't even. I was gonna say Abby, but that's not it.
It is Abby.
It is Abby.
Well,
Abigail.
that's a short
Abigail. Okay, that's a short name. Okay, I'm gonna turn up your mic a little bit there.
Okay.
Okay, is that better? Okay. Abby is famous all over Cambodia and Thailand. So
Abby, what's your last name, Abby?
Yeah.
Hohmann.
H-O-H.
And then man with 2 N's.
And then man with 2 N's. Hohmann. And then we got Shane in the corner. No one put Shane in the corner.
Everyone put Shane in the corner. It's where I belong.
Yes. I was going to give you
You have a sound effect for me?
sound effect for you.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Ooh, well, we'll do
Just hit it.
Oh,
That's
hey,
it?
that's
Shane in the corner.
that's what I get.
All right.
Canned applause. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
That's better. That's more like it. Now I feel at home.
Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, my God. I had the wrong bank open and it screwed me up.
No, that was great.
Thanks, Shane, for hanging out with us again. Sort of last minute, just co-host, third co-host, I guess, because not really a guest on the show.
Did you find him hanging out behind the 7-Eleven?
Well, I told him he looked lonely and distraught, and so he should follow me to our studio. I do that often, and very few people take me up on it, but Shane did. So,
Right.
yeah, it was very nice of
Well,
him.
you said I could have a free Corona.
He
if I
came
came
for a
up here,
Corona.
so-
Handing out free
know it.
Coronas,
Yep.
which is awesome. So we'll dive right in after all of that to Abby. You are you work in filmmaking, or what do you do exactly?
Yeah, I'm a full-time freelancer in film and television, and I do a couple different departments depending on the job and who's hiring me.
Okay, like what?
I primarily do location, and then in addition to location department, I also do production assistant and set dressing.
Okay, so and you're like on call essentially. Like you don't have like a place that you. I mean, you don't have an office, right?
Oh no, I don't have an office.
Yeah. Okay. So you just
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah, but I haven't really traveled much for film. It's just like if they're filming in Utah, I tend to get a call, and that could be as far as like in the St. George area, or I spend a lot of time in Hanksville for a project and Green River.
Dude, Hanksville blowing up.
I love
Yeah.
Hanksville.
Right. Yeah. Now you went to school for this, technically, correct?
I went to a high school called Salt Lake School for the Performing Arts, which I went there for theater, but then the media department kind of swept me away.
Yeah. What do you like about the media side of things?
I think that there's like a little bit of like a greater ability to have kind of control over what happens when you're like on the other side of the camera. And in some ways it's more creative, but mostly it's easier to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Yeah. Smart woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
There's less factors that go into whether or not you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that at least provides you with the job. I tried acting once. Todd knows. Well, actually, you both know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've seen it. We'll send you a link afterwards. Put it in the comments below, Brandon.
But as you see, like I just stuck to
We
the
got to
acting
tell that
side
Brandon story at least once a year.
and did it. Yeah. And didn't.
I don't know if it's.
I don't know. I didn't really
so.
pursue it, but then again, it was really hard to find work. Like, so if you're going to like work in the industry, the behind the scenes is way easier, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the key is just like, obviously like knowing your job, which part of that comes from doing it more, but also then just like being willing to like work hard and with a positive attitude the whole day.
Yeah.
Even if it's a really
Well,
long day.
that's
Why don't you think about that,
Yeah,
Brandon?
I know. No, but that's good advice for any job too. Like,
Yeah.
Positive attitude.
yeah, positive attitude all day, and yeah. No, my claim to fame is I left Jason Bateman hanging.
Yes. We're just going to leave it at that.
Yep.
He ended up doing okay for himself.
I think I got the worst end of the deal on that.
Do you want my best story about behind the scenes camera crew people?
Yeah.
I worked with?
Yeah.
So I was working at Browning, the gun company up in Mountain Green,
Yeah,
right?
the actual.
I was working for Browning as a creative director, and we were filming a commercial for Winchester, which was one of our subsidiary brands at the time. And we wanted to capture the horse and rider logo that you know Winchester for, like the Pony Express rider, you know, that you see in the logo that's hand drawn. We wanted to get that on video so we could do this cool transition from a video into the logo, right? The guy that was working for the film crew running he was the assistant camera operator. So when they'd cut, we'd say cut, and they'd go check the gate, and he'd come over and make sure that the gate had worked on the camera and everything was good. That was all his job was, right? He was just kind of an assistant grip or whatever. I don't know what his official title was. And as we get talking to him through the day, my coworker keeps saying, "You seem really familiar to me. I feel like I know you from somewhere." He's like, "Oh, really? Where'd you go to college?" You know, "Oh, I went to Utah State." "Oh, I didn't go to Utah State." "Oh, where'd you go to high school?" "Oh, I went to Bonneville High School." "And where'd you go?" "Oh, I went somewhere in California." And he kept her going back into like, "Where'd you go to preschool? You know, who's your preschool teacher?" You know, had her all the way back there. I'm tuning most of this out. He's the assistant camera operator, and this is between takes. They're having this conversation.
This goes any further back, and I'm going to be tuning this out.
Seriously. And finally she goes, "What's your name again?" And he goes, "Mike." And she goes, "And your last name?" And he goes, "Lookinland." And as soon as he said it, I was like, holy shit. Do you know who Mike Lookinland is? He played Bobby Brady on the Brady Bunch. And he was working on the film crew as the assistant gate checker guy that makes the camera, you know. Yeah. And I'm like, this is Bobby. I spent every afternoon of my life with you watching your reruns and stuff.
The fact that you knew his name.
Because I was one of those nerds that always read the credits, and so I knew who played every part. And so when he said, "My name's Mike Lookinland," I'm like, holy shit, I know who you are. Yeah, so like he found out making money steadily happened behind the camera and not in front of it. You can only be Bobby Brady for so long, and then if you want to stay in that industry, you go into film production, right?
Yeah. And there's so many different jobs that you can do behind the camera, so it's really cool to just find like your niche or be like me and float.
What's your favorite?
I don't know. Either I really do. I recently was set dressing, so like that's on my mind. I think it can be really fun to like design someone's like living space or whatever.
Wild.
Yeah, and then I also really like doing locations because it's really, you get to like work in the communities and like talk to like the neighbors or business owners or whatever, and kind of like, I don't know, it's just like very connected in that way, where locations brings in the real world and the film world and then puts it together. And not many other departments get to do that.
I was watching what is it, the whatever the old movie channel is, they only play really old movies.
AMC?
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Turner Classic Movies?
I think it was Turner, actually. Yeah. And in between, they tell you a little something about the films or whatever. And now the name of the film escapes me. It's a super famous black and white film.
Good story.
Yeah, I know.
What's the name of the network? I don't
know.
Listen, I'm getting somewhere. Hold on.
What they did was one of the actor, I don't know, producer, actor, decided to make, because they never did this until this film. The entire film set was in one, what do you call it, one studio or whatever. It was the entire thing. And so that, because he wanted to do like all these pans and things, and so that was like the first time they just used the entire. I'll get back to you on who that was, what movie it was.
Put the details in the comments.
Details in the comments. Look it up.
There was this thing one time where this guy did this one thing, and I'll put all the details in the comments.
It was so cool.
Listeners love to go back and look later on into those comments.
They never do. Abby, you were riding a bicycle, not a motorbike.
Yeah.
Right? Bicycle. Around Thailand, Cambodia, etc., and then back to Thailand. How in the hell did you end up with this, going there with this idea? Like, what's the story for the setup?
Well, it was my second cycle tour. So my first cycle tour happened in Iceland, and what happened before that was that I was planning to go there to like backpack this famous trail called Landmataluga, and when I was planning,
sorry, you're by yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was planning that, I had just gotten my passport, and then I flew to go visit some friends in Texas, where I then kind of got into a car accident.
Kind of got into one?
I did get into one that messed up my back and my neck a little bit, and so like I was like, oh man, like backpacking's going to be so hard now that this is hurting and all this stuff. So
kind of a lot of it.
Yeah, it was a lot of bit of a car accident.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I had to go to physical therapy to like get mobility back in my shoulder and stuff.
Yeah.
But she only kind of got into it.
Yeah.
It was a total car accident, but she only kind of got
I was
into
actually never into that.
it. I was only kind of into that car accident.
Man, I wish they could all be kind of. Okay, and then, so yeah, you switched it up. You're like, I'm not going to make the whole backpacking thing.
Yeah, so as I was recovering, I was trying to think of like a way to like continue to like travel in that way, but like without carrying stuff on like my back and my shoulders. And I happened to be reading like the book Wild by Cheryl Strahan, and I think that kind of those two things combined, I started thinking like, what if I biked Iceland?
Oh, yeah.
And I also looked at a map of it, and there's like really only one road, so it just made sense to me. I was like, oh, that like there's just that one road.
Can't get lost if there's only one road.
Yeah.
Just keep pedaling.
Yeah.
Really? There's really only one main road through Iceland?
There's
for the most
one
part?
main road. It's called Highway 1.
Okay.
Utah has one main road. It is possible.
Ours has a
Do they have a highway too?
I-15.
I don't think so.
Oh, God. Okay. So did you know anything about bikepacking at all?
I didn't even know the word. I didn't know the word bikepacking or
Okay.
cycle touring or pannier. I just kind of pannier is like the bags that you like put on the racks to store your stuff. I just kind of started doing some research, and I found some Facebook groups that were really helpful. And then I flew there and rented a bike there that had all the gear. Well, not all the gear, but like I had to bring my tent and stuff, but it had like the bags and the bike and the
No,
rack.
that's rad. You could just rent the bike with all the stuff on it, though.
Well, they thought it was weird when I asked.
Yeah.
It was someone that provides like guided tours, and I didn't want a guide. And I was like, I don't want to do it. And it's only like a week-long guided tour or something. And I was like, I'm not trying to do a guided tour. I just want to know if I could like rent the stuff. And then after a couple email exchanges back and forth with multiple companies, finally someone agreed. But it ended up being like the price of like buying a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, did you end up liking the bike?
Yeah, I did. It was kind of sad when I had to return it.
Right, because you paid for it.
You bought him a new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I heard the word pannier, I think I was at the outdoor retailer show with you, Todd, and we went by the Timbuktu booth.
Yeah, they make some.
And you're like, oh, I love their panniers. And I'm like, what the hell is a pannier? So, yeah.
Look at that. I introduced you to things. I'm still stuck on you saying that you found a Facebook group that was helpful, because I don't think anybody has ever said that.
I was just gonna say this whole thing was based on a couple of Facebook groups. I mean, that's a roll of the dice.
That's how you get into your first militia.
Yeah. or watch the worst series you've ever watched in your life. It's like, oh, this Facebook group said I'd like this show and I hate it.
So I'm happy you found that. That's reassuring to me.
Yeah, it's a really great
You
group.
can find your people.
So you started in Iceland for your first time bike touring ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome. It was like I biked 700-ish miles, a little bit more than that, and I just did like the perimeter of the island.
And how long?
That one was like a month, but I ended up actually still backpacking Landmannalaugar, that trail I planned on backpacking, but then so I did that first, and that took a couple days. Then after that, I got my bike set up, and then that took a couple days, and then like the total trip was a month.
Okay. Your mom's here, but I want to know if like, where do you get this sense of adventure? Like, because most people don't just be like, oh, I'm by myself, I'm going to go bike an island or backpack this trail that hardly anybody has ever heard of. So where does this come from?
I don't know. Maybe I just watched too many movies or something.
Those are some good movies. Yeah.
I didn't actually know about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty till I got back from my trip. And everyone's like, how was your Secret Life of Walter Mitty trip? And I'm like, what are they talking about?
I've never seen it.
It takes place partially in Iceland.
Remake. That was the remake of it. And it was
Yes,
quite
the
good.
remake.
Oh, really? I
Ben
didn't know.
Stiller did a remake that,
You know, I don't
that
think-
four of us saw.
Yeah, the original was
collectively.
who was the original?
Jimmy Stewart, I think. Or no, but it was around that time period. I could be wrong. I most likely am. But it was quite good, and there was quite a lot of travel and just kind of, you got that itch to do more type of thing, which is what his character needed. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of us need. It's just a matter of just doing it,
Yeah.
which you did. So you got the bug from the first trip.
Yeah. The first trip was great. And I was like, cycling's like the best way to travel. And then I actually later on went to Costa Rica without a bike, and I felt stuck. I was like, why don't I have a bike here? Like, I was taking public transportation and hitchhiking, but I still felt like I was like, this would be so much better if I just had had a bike. So then
Yeah.
when I was planning my next trip after that, I was like, it has to be. I have to have a bicycle on me.
So from what you learned from the first trip, going into the second one, were you more prepared, or did you just kind of still wing it?
I still winged it. Like, for instance, I actually don't know any bicycle mechanics. I don't even know if I'd be able to change my tire on the road.
Oh,
Or fix a chain.
I've changed a lot of flat
I
tires.
think I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of practiced like once or twice, but then there's always someone else doing it.
I feel someone in that Facebook group should have known more.
So my question for you, on a scale of 1 to 10 on the dirtbag scale, how dirtbaggy was your trip? Are we talking like posh hotel to posh hotel, or are we talking bivouac, tent to hammock to hostel? Like, how dirtbaggy was your
It
trip?
wasn't as dirtbaggy as I wanted it to be, because
Okay.
in Iceland I was sleeping in my tent every night, but in Asia it wasn't as easy to find good tenting areas, and also hotels or hostels were super cheap. So I was mostly staying there, but I
Imagine
didn't.
there's a few more insects in Cambodia than there is in Iceland too. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Snakes, lizards,
exactly.
insects. Yeah.
Yes, but including in my rooms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, I found bed bugs once and cockroaches a couple times. But the bed bugs was only once, which was nice.
So you weren't staying at the White Lotus or like the Four Seasons, like some fancy
No.
swanky. You were still dirtbagging it pretty much.
And I was still carrying a tent, so occasionally I did tent camp. And
Yeah.
there was also occasional times where in my hotel, I would set up my tent in the hotel. Because,
One extra
Yeah.
layer of protection.
well, there was one night I thought I got a great deal with the $3 hotel room.
There was no roof or what?
Well, there was a roof, but like there was like mold all over the ceilings, and it didn't look like anyone's cleaned it. And the bathroom was just a pit toilet that was like covered with like black grease, and I just like slept in my tent on top of the bed in that room.
Okay,
and-
so that's like a 2 to 3 on the dirtbag scale. This is not high end accommodation
No.
travel. This
but
is
there was a
dirtbagging,
couple nice
okay.
hotels too.
Okay.
I'm fascinated. So, where did you start in East Asia there, and like what was the loop here that you took?
I started in Bangkok, Thailand, and then from there I headed north over into the country called Laos, and then Vietnam, Cambodia, and then I ended in Phuket, Thailand.
Unreal.
So it was like a little like
How many miles?
I biked a total of, I have it on my phone actually because I keep forgetting.
Oh, and it took months, right?
Yeah, I started in late August and I ended in like early December, so like about 3.5, 4 months.
Is that winter?
It's the
Spring?
Spring
it's
over
the
there.
rainy season is what they call it,
Okay.
and it was very hot. My hottest day was 117 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, good night. And
I only made 30 miles that day.
Only
Humid?
30.
It was hot.
I couldn't have driven 30 miles in 117 degrees. I would have had to
I'm
stop at
with you,
7-Eleven
yeah.
twice for a big gulp.
The total miles was 3,555. That's how many I biked. I also took a train once
okay,
and hitchhiked, I think, twice.
okay. I would not dare do this.
Did you take your own bike to Thailand, or did you rent one over there as well?
I guess that's one thing that I did learn from my other trip that I brought into this one was I bought my own bike and I stressed over it for like a really long time.
Okay, what'd you get?
So let's get you a sponsor right now. Who was the bike that you used?
I used the Surly Bridge Club.
Oh yeah.
oh,
Those Surleys are popular for
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good cross bike. It
Touring.
was like a gravel bike, or what was it?
Yeah, it was a gravel bike, so it's like good for like, asphalt and
Yep.
dirt and all sorts of everything, which was great because it's what I needed.
You learned to change those tires?
I set them up tubeless, and I did that in a shop with like someone else's help, but we did it together, and I never had to change them. If I had, I
With
had tools for
3,500
it.
miles without a flat.
I know, I did. I have like really good luck.
Wow.
dude, I can't go like an
I can't
hour.
go 100. I can't go 100 miles without a flat.
You get those
Oh my
stupid
God.
thorn. What
Yeah,
are those
goat
things
heads,
called?
yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
worst.
They don't have.
Do we
goat
live in the
heads.
wrong place or
Yeah,
what?
apparently for bike tires
for
we do.
Yeah. Oh
those
my
goat
goodness.
heads. Immediately. Like,
Yeah.
I could just leave the house, like not make it to the street,
Yeah.
and puncture,
7 goat heads,
puncture.
for
So
sure.
you didn't have any bicycle mechanical issues?
Well, I had I had to bring it. I brought it to a bike shop twice, but never like I was always able to like bike there. And I think both times was just for like a casual tune-up. One time I was like I had absolutely no lube on my chain, and so like that was. I went to a shop and like they did that for me. And then one time actually my chain did fall completely off and I tried to restring it and couldn't. And then I like remembered I just biked past a man who was in his driveway spray painting a bicycle. So I just parked my bike, ran up there, and he didn't speak English. And I was like pointing at his bicycle, like,
Yeah.
hi, bicycle, come here. And he
Bring
came
your
over.
bike.
I guess I should have brought my bike up there. But yeah, he came over and then like restrung my chain for me. And that
This is
was
wild.
nice.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay, so we could probably chat all night about this because I have so many questions about where you went, what you saw, what the cultures are like. But like, is there one major thing that stands out, I guess, to you on that trip?
It's really hard to pick like one thing, or like lots of people ask like favorite country because I like them all. But I will say the food was awesome.
Yeah. Now, do they differ from country to country in that area very much?
Yeah, and even from like areas like in Thailand, when you're by the ocean, it's very fish and seafood heavy.
That
And
makes
then when you
sense.
go up to central or northern Thailand, that's where you get the curries that I think in the United States it's more famous for.
I had a friend growing up whose family was from there. Boy, I want to say it was Laos, and he couldn't eat his own mom's cooking. Like it was that hot. I mean, it was some spicy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't eat much local food in Laos, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Is it Lao, not Laos?
I think it's Laos.
Okay. I think we say Laos in the United States.
'Cause it has an S
It
at the
does have an
end.
S, but Lao. Yeah. Okay.
You've
Shit.
been there, not me. I've never been there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all the good stuff that you probably talk about. Well, like, but let's talk about the other stuff. Like, did you get sick? Did you have anything stolen? Did you have any issues where you're just like, I'm leaving? Did you ever have that moment where you were scared? Tell us that kind of stuff.
I did get food poisoning one day, which was, I don't know, rough, but I even texted my friend and I said, he was like, hey, Abby, how's it going? I was like, oh, great. I have food poisoning, but it's such a beautiful day. But yeah, I did get food poisoning one time, and it was actually really kind of bad because at the hotel I was staying at the time, all they had was like a squat toilet. And I had food.
Did you get good at that?
Yeah.
Those, you find those more places than not. And
Yeah.
you're
How many
okay
squats
at
did
them.
you do that day?
You get a little, your core, the legs, it does kind of strengthen certain areas.
Well, it
better.
actually sucks after biking when like you have to use
Oh.
the bathroom and all you have
Yeah.
is a squat toilet.
Yeah.
Your legs are like,
Yeah. You're like shaking. Yeah.
all right, so there's that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a horrible story. You're
You just
way
had
too
good luck.
positive. Yeah. Like, this is.
I'm trying to think of more drama.
Okay, my question though is, I know you were there doing nonprofit work as well, right? So tell us a little bit about, in addition to just pedaling around Southeast Asia, you were also doing work. You were creating content. You were working on what? Tell us a little bit about what that was all about.
It actually came out to, it wasn't pre-planned. I was after I crossed the border into Laos, or after I crossed the border into Vietnam, I was like chilling there in a nice hotel room that time. And I was like thinking like, man, I really want to go to Cambodia, but I don't have time to like put that on my trip itinerary and all this stuff. When I came across like a Facebook post from like a friend who I've worked with in film like once or twice, and he had the caption like Cambodia, all caps. And he was like looking for film crew to like help with the like nonprofit documentary and like advertisement to help get.
So
more-
this is how we tied the whole circle back
Yeah.
together between your filmmaking and your adventuring. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't pre-planned. And so I messaged him, and then he's like, I'll let you know if like we can use you. And then after a little bit, he was like, oh my gosh, like get over here. So that's when I ended up having to take a train in Vietnam, because I had to rush
Just
over
pedal
to Cambodia.
faster. Just see how I got a 6-day bike ride to get there. I'll be there on Thursday.
I did that too. I tried to pedal faster, but I think I can only go the most I've gone is like 105 miles in one day.
Well, that's a good day.
A century, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
day.
And then you're just beat, and then the next day do it again. So yeah, I did end up taking a train for part of it, and then I biked part of that way too. And that nonprofit is called Vision Cambodia.
Okay, and then is that project out or something? Or the video, the film, or whatever? Is that somewhere?
Yeah, they have a couple videos on their website, and there's also places to donate. They focus on like creating wells for like communities alongside education, like schools and teaching English.
Okay, so is clean water an issue there? Or?
Yeah, there's not much, like there's a lot of like harmful stuff and bacteria in the water, and then also from like the war and the bombings and all that stuff, all of their water got contaminated.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so are you going back, or what's your next adventure?
I don't know. Like, part of me wants to go back because there's more. I wish I ate more food. First of all,
Yeah.
there's more food to be eaten.
So
there.
how close do they get here in Utah, which is very far away from there? Like,
Can you track down some food that just
have you
tastes
found
familiar?
food that's pretty close to that here?
No,
locally?
I was telling my mom the other day that I think that Asian food's been kind of ruined for me now. Because like it's not as good as the real thing. But also like half my trip in the beginning I was spent focusing on like I was mostly eating at more westernized, not like I was eating local dishes but at westernized places. And when I-
Riding your bike through the McDonald's drive-through kind of a thing? or-
no. It was all local stuff, but like more like they have like nice restaurants that cater to tourists, and they have like the street food and like anyway.
Which one gave you food poisoning?
I actually was a local offered to cook me dinner special.
Did they cook it in hubcap or something like that?
Well, I don't know. We cooked.
I know a guy who got wrecked his whole gut eating hubcap food that was made on
Yeah,
some
it's
street
not
somewhere.
good.
That's why I
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah, they told me they killed the chicken special for me. And,
Oh.
and
So
then
it's fresh at least.
Yeah.
so they prepared me like a special dinner and
But
all
that's
that.
hard to turn down, like,
Yeah.
that's rude. So
Did you figure out what it was? Was it like undercooked or was it?
I have no clue. But there was also eggs involved. Oh, well, also like the sanitary situation of that village wasn't.
So it could be any number of things.
sanitary situation? Not good.
It
Your
was
stomach was still too Western at the time. Yeah, build that up.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they didn't have like great like hand washing.
Oh yeah,
and
say
then
no
also
more. We know what you're talking about. You don't have to go into detail. We all can picture
Wait,
it.
I want to hear. This is good.
Well, we ate like we didn't use utensils, so we just like grabbed our hand, and
Oh
got like
my
a handful
God,
of
really?
rice, and then dipped the rice in like.
How far away was the squat toilet at this point? I think I can narrow this down.
Well, that's what we did.
No hand sanitizer.
Because
Nope.
my friend whose family was from that region always had a pot of sticky rice on the stove, and we would go over there. We would skateboard to his house. His name was Richard, very Asian name, and we just use our hands to grab the rice off, because that's what he did. He would grab the rice off in the pot and then it's like hand us a ball, right? And we're like, okay, and then you just hold it while you're skateboarding and eat the rice. But it was it's hands on, no utensils.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just dip the hands in the rice, and
Yeah.
then also like they had like a variety of sauces and like different like.
And you dip in the sauce.
You take the rice ball and then you dip it in that.
Yeah, let's go.
And I was just like with a group of, villagers, and then I had food poisoning the next day.
That's
Can't imagine.
Yeah.
Can't imagine how that would have happened.
So what kind of advice do you have as far as traveling alone? Recommendations, things to be cautious of.
Oh
things
yeah, I
that
want to
you've
go back
learned.
to Todd's question about like safety and security. Did you feel safe the whole time, or were there dodgy moments for you?
I always felt safe, but there was a couple situations where in Vietnam, there was just a couple guys who were kind of like weird. So all throughout Vietnam, like before Vietnam, I had 2 other countries, and then those countries, people would pull over, they'd give me water, they'd give me snacks, like all this stuff. And in Vietnam, people would do that as well, mostly men. And then they would expect me to like kiss them, or I would never do it, but like, and it wasn't like any kind of like, if I didn't want to, they were chill, but like it was just weird that there was like an expectation of like I'm going to. I would think there was 8 situations only in Vietnam where that happened, where like I'm going to give you this, and then I just like put my hand in front of them,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they don't speak
So
English.
it was instant. Like they give you something,
Yeah.
and then they try to kiss you.
Yeah, and then I just give it back to them and leave. But then it kind of sucked because
They can't take it and ride off.
Yeah.
That's weird. Then they'll chase you down.
No, but that's the reality, and that's the
Yeah.
But that's the shitty part about let's be honest. Like I've probably seen something similar here in Ogden. and
Todd's
so-
done that to me on this couch. I understand.
Listen, there's an
I'm just thinking, like,
understanding.
Women come up to Todd all the time. and
I
tell him
hand you a
stuff.
beer, you
Yeah.
Todd gave me half a beer, and you wouldn't believe what I had to do in return.
I'm pointing to my cheek. You're ignoring me.
It wasn't that cheek you were pointing to.
But I appreciate you sharing that, because that is a reality. I have done a certain amount of
That would make
traveling
me nervous,
myself,
though.
and traveling as a man, traveling as a woman in certain parts of the world is unfair. Sometimes, some places.
Were you able to stay in contact with mom and home? Was there good service and
Yeah.
Wi-Fi or whatever you needed to check in now and then, or how'd that go?
Yeah, Wi-Fi was okay. My mom wanted to make sure I could talk to her, so she helped me pay for like a international plan with T-Mobile, so I could call
That's
her.
nice.
I think I called her a lot.
I'm sure she was happy about that.
Yeah. I think that's probably.
Just riding my bike, Mom.
But that's something that's different, and that is like, I mean, what an incredible perk. Like, that's really, really nice.
And the first couple of weeks were difficult because for the first little bit, I couldn't, like, there was no one who could speak English. So I wasn't like, I would talk, but like, there wasn't any like good quality interaction between me and another
That's
person.
hard. Yeah. Did you pick up any words?
Just like thank you and hello and like the kind of basics.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And no.
And no.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
I learned nate, which is no in Cambodia, which is important there's like children beggars and they don't respond to no, but they respond to nate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not to.
Interesting.
How much does it cost to learn that lesson?
I know. I guess it's because like even if they speak English, like no is like a foreign word, but then nate is what their mom says, right? Or like their parents or their teachers. So yeah.
So if I hear you say nate, it means knock it off, Todd.
Yeah, that's how they know
I mean
you
it
mean
this time,
business. They'll like cling onto your arm and be like, please, 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 can I have money? Please, please, please. And nate is the answer.
No, that's great advice.
wild.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That same thing happens in Vegas. So I wonder if nate would work in Vegas on the strip there, because it happens.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
On the next episode of Van Sessions,
We're going to talk about no in every language.
Ogden Adventure Show, Brandon's going to tell us about his experience in Vegas.
They have these. This is a new one. When was the last time you guys were there? You were
Vegas?
there recently.
My folks
Yeah.
lived down
Last year, I went
Last
down.
year.
Yeah, I'm going again this year too.
So this is the newer thing I've seen. They got the dudes. They dress like kind of like monks, and they just they put a thing on your wrist. Like they look like they're giving them out for free to like save wherever they're from, But then as soon as they put it on your wrist, then it's like that, and it's like they expect
Something
you
in
to tip
return.
them or something in return. And so it happened to someone who was in our party, and then it took forever to get them back away from because they wouldn't take it back until they got something.
wow.
Yeah.
Good to know those things.
Vegas.
Vegas is a trip.
Nice to know Vietnam's safer than Vegas.
That's
Cambodia.
100%. Vegas is crazy.
Nate, is that what I got to say?
Yeah.
Nate.
All right.
Nate.
That's
Okay, I do want to know. I mean, because Iceland and Southeast Asia are totally different.
Dude, they end in the same four letters. Thailand and Iceland end in the same four letters. How different could they be?
Exactly. So, I mean, same climates and everything. Where are you heading next, or where have you thought like, oh, this would be a really cool place to visit?
I don't know exactly where yet because I think I have a little bit too many ideas right now. Like Argentina is some place I'm very interested in, and as well as like Nepal, obviously.
Yeah.
I think like I am interested a lot in Asia, like the whole continent. I could go to that whole continent and be there forever and be happy. Like, I really think it's cool. But yeah, I also like Argentina and Nepal, and then I've also been thinking about trying to go somewhere where I could learn how to surf, maybe Portugal. I don't know.
Have you considered like Eastern South Dakota for your next adventure? Something like that? No?
Well, I'm going to St. George tomorrow.
That's the
Hey,
same
let's
thing,
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the same thing. It's all the United States.
What is your heart telling you? Where do you really want to go next? You just listed off a bunch, but there's somewhere in you that's like mostly this one.
I think right now, like, I'm really interested in surfing. I've always wanted to learn how to, and like I'm like a big snowboarder.
Yeah.
So like I keep playing surfing videos at my resort I work at, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could be doing that.
I have a Samsung TV, and when you turn it on, it turns on Samsung TV channel or whatever, and it comes before you put the app on that you want, right? So, but it came on some weird. It's like stuck on whatever weird channel, right? So I was going through the Samsung channels that it offers, and they offer the surfing channel, and so I turn on the surfing channel, and it's been like this for like 2 years, and then just the other day, my wife's like, how come every time I turn the TV on, they're surfing on it? I said, I'm like, it's because I put it on that channel on purpose because surfing is, I can't do it. I've never done it. I've boogie boarded or body boarded.
Yeah,
or boogie boarded
I've
a little
done
bit.
that too.
Yeah. But it's something that is, it's like entrancing. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And people who surf every day, it's got to be something about that that's different from, like, I love snowboarding
Yeah.
as well, because they just love it. It's like their whole life.
But I'm also like scared of the ocean, so I don't know.
A little bit.
As
The
you
ocean's
should
scary.
be.
Yeah.
That's kind of an
ocean
important
will
part of
kick your
surfing.
ass.
It's one of the main
I
ingredients
actually
of surfing.
panic every time I enter water. And if I can't see mountains, I panic too.
But can you swim though?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't
step
know.
one. So
I can swim in a lake.
yeah.
Surfing's not as good. I promise you, the surfing's not as good on a lake as it is on the ocean.
Yeah, probably not.
It's more that stand-up situation. Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. I find myself with travel. So I'm a huge fan of Yellowstone, obviously, and I like
The TV show?
I've never seen an episode. Is it any good?
Really?
Yeah. I've
Oh,
never
we're not going to
watched
start out of that on this podcast.
Anyway, this place,
Yeah.
so I end up going back. We go back once or twice a year because I love it. But at the same time, I also have this little bit of pull. Like, I got to go see more stuff, So that's where the challenge when you travel, it's like, well, I know this place and I want to explore more places in where I was, but also I got to see more stuff. Like if everything else is as cool as what I saw, I got to see more stuff, So the decisions making is difficult.
Yeah, and I think part of that comes from like being in a society where like we're so globalized and we have like access and like at our fingertips. I could show you photos of Thailand. I could show you photos of Argentina, which like brings that draw in. But like that's part of like I think why cycle touring might be good is because it forces you to slow down and
like
take
that.
it in.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't remember who it was that said it, but like a bicycle moves you through the world at the proper pace. It's just fast enough that you can cover some ground and get from one place to another, but also slow enough that you can kind of take in the changes between climates
that.
and everything else. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Or a steam engine.
Steam engine would be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're seeing it from that sort of ground view, but
Right.
you're not really interacting as much. But it's beautiful views.
I was watching last night, actually, 2003 or 4 release of this film. It's all black and white.
You don't have the name, do you?
Nope.
God damn, this whole episode.
Because they didn't have color back in 2003.
No, yeah, they totally had color. But it was the first, I can't remember even the name of the car. It was a wild name of the car, but they started in San Francisco and they were trying to drive to, you guys are going.
You should take a whack
Sure,
at
it wasn't
stand-up
just some
comedy.
random city on the West Coast.
It was definitely San Francisco. The idea was they had to drive, it was a promotion for the car, and they had to drive from San Francisco to New York. And rather than cross the Nevada desert, because they were nervous about and this car like had no top and no, I mean, this is cars, loose term.
Because they
right?
just barely invented
It
cars
was-
because color film had just come along.
It's a
Yeah.
horseless carriage is what they call it. They didn't even call it a car. It's a horseless carriage, right? So they had to take this horseless carriage from San Francisco to New York to prove that they could be done. And then fascinating. It was on PBS. I don't know. This is what I watch when I'm anyway. So
We're going to have to
But
read
that's
the
a good-
notes to this show. There's somebody listening that's
I
just
can't
like,
even. I'm
Jesus
so bad.
Christ, I
I
don't know
can't even
anything.
find my own things that I'm bringing up. I'm going to be searching all night, and I'm like, F it. I'm just going to post it because I can't even find them.
Listen, if you want the cold hard facts, you listen to this show.
I know.
We give you the details. We are experts in what we talk about.
I looked it up and then I lost it anyway. And I think Tom Hanks narrates it. It's pretty cool anyway.
So you have the facts. Google it.
Yeah,
That's
Google it.
basically what we're
Tom
saying.
Hanks, carriage, horse's carriage, San Francisco to New York.
We're guaranteed to hand out
Figure it
3
out.
Google searches per minute on this show. This one guy did this one thing in this one place. You got to Google all that.
God, it's
Think it's
good.
Tom Hanks. It may not be Tom Hanks. I feel equally confident it may
I'm
not be
pretty
Tom
confident
Hanks.
it's Tom Hanks.
It's either him or Steven Seagal. I'm not sure which one.
Those voices are nowhere near each.
David Attenborough.
Definitely not Attenborough.
Steven
Barrow,
Seagal,
yeah.
big into steam engines though. Oh, this is
Okay,
a
well,
great
did you
story.
blog about this? How did you document it? Because you're in the film industry, so
Yeah, I just felt like taking out my phone. Like I took lots of photos that I love, but I felt like taking out my phone to like, or taking out like anything to like film.
so you're
it.
not a travel influencer.
No.
Why not?
This is Shane's world. Shane's like
Right.
he meets these people all the time.
You should be one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I get imposter syndrome, and also like I really want to be there, like experiencing it in the moment, and then like to sit there and film it. It's like you're stepping outside of like the experience.
Okay, this is where I feel like I'm the worst photographer because I have the skill. I minored in photography, and then I will do a thing, go to an event, see a thing, and forget to take. I got my camera with me and forget to take a picture because you're in the moment.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm like the worst photographer. I didn't even take a picture.
And it's partially like that with this for me, especially I think for Iceland, I specifically bought a GoPro and I was like, I'm totally going to film this.
Yeah.
And then I never used it. And then I ended up losing it in Costa Rica later.
Did you get anything off it before you lost it?
No, I had this sick video of me jumping off a bridge into a river.
Yeah.
And like I filmed myself. I was scared I was going to lose. That's not how I lost it.
You got to buy the iCloud or the cloud plan on that thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never even watched that video because the next day I did a hike that also included wading through a river, and my GoPro kind of like just fell out of my hand. The current caught it. It's probably in the ocean now.
Yeah. No,
With
I
that
feel,
video.
I feel I'd be better at documenting because I'm seldom present. Like I'm not present right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm barely listening to any of
I'm
you
just gonna
guys.
take a picture of you guys.
But if we could take pictures while we're doing this, it's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Well, I like pictures because it's quicker. You know, like you
Yeah,
can
that's
sit
true.
there, you could like, and like you're still setting up the shot, getting the framing that you want, but it's still just like,
this is why I think I get the ick. All right, I'll use the kids' term when watching the travel.
What did you just
influencers,
say?
Because
The ick.
the ick. It doesn't feel.
I mean, I know what that word means.
It doesn't feel right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they're there. Granted, they're there. They're that, which is pretty freaking cool, and they're doing the thing, but they're spending so much time
capturing it. Yeah.
and creating a narrative too
Yeah.
that maybe is not actually what's happening. And so, I don't know. I think they're missing out on they're getting paid. Damn it.
Yeah, they are.
So yeah.
I think a journal's good.
yeah, I
Something
didn't.
to help you remember what you've done.
I
100%.
carried a journal. I didn't write in it though. But however, there's a couple like on my Facebook page, which is private. I kind of like recorded at the end of every country, like a recap of like what happened and like how many miles I did and like my thoughts and experiences. So that's as much as I got to like recording it and my
I
photos.
feel like
That's a
that's a
start.
pretty good way. I did a solo trip in the UNAs once, and that's the way I recorded it. I did take a couple of photos during the day, but then
on
at
your
night-
MySpace page.
that was a while ago. Yeah, I did. I never. No,
It's
I never
private. I guess you'd call it private.
Never had a MySpace.
Nobody's using it.
Nobody's using it. But I did. That was actually. I think I uploaded it on the original Ogden Arts Adventure blog, which is now
See, there you go.
lost
Another private space.
in the internet for all eternity. It's gone. But that was the journaling in front of a camera at night is a good way to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a good reflection.
Good
It's time
reflection,
to look back at the day before you forget it.
Right.
Yeah, I really do want to start journaling. Hopefully I will. It's like so weird to carry a journal that far when like every like bit that you carry matters and then not use it.
Well,
That
that's
part's
what's
true.
crazy. This little thing can do all the things that we had to spend hundreds of dollars in the 70s,
Yeah.
80s, 90s to buy all this equipment and stuff. And this will do it. And we don't use it maybe like we should.
You know,
For that.
So what you're saying is people don't use their phones enough. That's your.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
use
takeaway.
their phone, but they don't capture
No, I get what you're
and
saying.
journal
I'm
with
just
it. You know what I
giving
mean?
you shit.
Yeah, because it's
Candy Crush in Vietnam is what you're saying.
Candy Crush.
Using,
Yeah.
dude, high score.
Slotomania.
Nice.
Or check the socials,
If there's other apps.
Yeah.
There's good traveling apps that
yeah.
are very helpful and make
Did you
it
use like
worthwhile.
Google Translate and some of that stuff?
Yeah, I did. I have like a mixed feeling about Google Translate because it was so helpful in like ordering food and talking to people. But at the same time, sometimes I didn't want to like rush to that. I wanted to see if like we could communicate without it first. And then a lot of people will just go straight to it. Or also even some people didn't understand how to use it. Like I'd be like, I'd even tell them, I'd be like, okay, so like I'm gonna speak, and then it's gonna, and then you'll,
Yeah.
and then like they just there's a couple like older folk who like had no comprehension of how to use it, and then the younger folk who would like rush to translate, and I like want to practice my ad-libbing. I don't know. I just want to have that like challenge and that connection and that like first, and then if it doesn't work, then I'm like, don't
Well, it's a
worry.
good backup if you like
Yeah.
really need a bathroom.
Do you have a non-squatting toilet somewhere?
Allow me to act this out first.
I don't want to squat. I've been riding a bike all day.
You know what I'm
Translate.
saying right now. Yeah. Well, we love hearing these stories. I think it's wonderful. I think that we're also inspired by your day job too. So, kind of keep that all up. There
And you
are,
live here. You're in Ogden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good base. Ogden is a good base.
I think so too. I do a lot of like road trips as well. So like it's nice because I could just like drive. In my mind, it takes 12 to 14 hours to get anywhere. I'm like California, Las Vegas, freaking
You
Washington.
get a full story
Montana.
from Brandon. Yeah.
Lacking all detail.
Listen, I'll get back to you 14 hours.
I'm just pumped. You'll hang in there for the full 14 hours waiting for the answer. Like, oh, he never got there.
Setting it up. He's setting it up. He's setting up. The payoff's going to be big.
Oh. Okay, back to the phone. The reason I said that we don't use these because my daughter, she went through this stage of like a vlog when she was younger, and she has since stopped. It's been about 2 or 3 years since she stopped, but I'm telling you what, they are the funnest to go back and watch, because you forget a lot of things. We forget a lot of things, camping trips and time with family and stuff. And so you go back and like, oh my gosh, the dog was this size, or she was wearing this shirt or something. And I don't think, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we use these in that way to put together a story. We just put it on YouTube, but you can go to YouTube and watch them. And it's like, oh man, I'm so happy we have this documented.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I do have I took occasional videos and like every now and then. And part of me is like, oh, I wish I had took more, but like I'm also not that hung up on it. And then I put together like a small little like video. Like I do have a TikTok page. I'm not an influencer and I don't try to be, but like it's like when I have a video or like a story to like compile, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Don't stop me.
Well, normally it's
Don't
like
look at me. I'm not going to get that TikTok page. Did we ever get a TikTok? Is there a TikTok associated with what we do?
We have a Van Sessions TikTok.
you can download it now.
Do you put stuff on it?
Every video we make is on it.
Jesus Christ. I should really probably be telling people that.
You should have told me that before I sat down here today.
Didn't even know. You've been on your TikTok all day.
No, yeah, I'm just over here scrolling TikTok. That's what I'm doing.
Do you
Which
have a TikTok?
visits fairly active on there. So.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with it.
You can follow me.
All right. Well,
What's your handle on
I'll tell
TikTok?
Visit Ogden. Yeah, what is your handle on TikTok?
Abigail.Hohmann. It's my first name, my last name.
Yeah.
It's easy to remember.
It
Yeah.
is easy. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. And when you do your next trip, we'll have to have
check
we'll have to have
in.
you back. Yeah.
This has been a nice intro to what you do.
Absolutely fascinating. Is one, because you're just go do this by yourself. Like, it blows my mind. So and not like South Dakota.
Right,
You're going to some wild places.
A guy in Winnemucca once told me when I was sitting at the bar in Winnemucca, he said, "It's a big old world out there, and ain't all of it going on Instagram." That's all I'm saying. South Dakota, I'm sure there's some beautiful shit to see in southeast South Dakota. You know what I mean? But you never think of it. That's why I was joking about it. But I'm like, there's a lot of land to go see in this world, and a lot of ocean.
Yeah, it's always better when
Ain't all of it going on Instagram.
No.
and those are the best places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is all going on YouTube.
Apparently,
just
and
FYI.
TikTok. TikTok is where it's all at now.
Oh,
They'll be able to map everything.
one of those places is Tehachapi. You've been through
Tehachapi, yeah.
Which I first heard a song about Tehachapi, and I sent it to Scott Rogers because he's from a place that has a funky name.
Was it that Weed, Whites, and Wine song? I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, Tehachapi to Tonopah. No?
Nope. It was. it
There's
was like
multiple songs.
multiple songs about
There's
Tehachapi.
Tehachapi. That's a good word for a song.
Yeah,
Tehachapi.
it is. It's great, and the way she plays it is really good too. It's kind of a love gone wrong sort of story.
Well, if it's in Tehachapi, it's got to be sad.
Yeah, but I did. But it also, I heard the song. I knew the song, and then because I had it on a playlist, and I'm driving through California, and I see the sign. It says Tehachapi. I'm like, holy shit!
It's a real place.
That's the place. We're gonna pass there. And then I looked it up. I'm like, what in the hell is this? Why was this place? And it's famous for its windmills. Because they have lots of wind that goes through their canyons there, and nowhere California. And
Where's the little I guess it's an exit, maybe a town. What's it? XYXX or
Zizix.
where's that? That's southern Utah, or is that over into Arizona?
It's on the way to Wendover, isn't it?
I thought it was
It's either
south.
on the way.
No, I thought
It's
it was
either on the way to
I thought
Wendover
it
or
was
on the
on
way to
the way to
Mesquite. It's one of the two.
I
Yeah.
thought it was further.
Zizix. Yeah.
Yeah, Mesquite area.
XXYXX or ZYXX. Yeah.
But did you know that they actually made a low budget like horror film of that location
Really?
just because of the name? Just like you're saying, maybe it's just kind of fun to say.
Yeah.
Maybe things are happening there. In this case, it was because it was just kind of this abandoned. I didn't watch the whole thing, but Zizix.
Yeah.
I never know how to say it. Zizix, yeah.
Physics.
Okay, see. And that part of the show is done.
Todd, do you have anything?
I do. So we have been working up to this week. There is a National Ceramics Conference that's in town starting tomorrow through the weekend called NCECA. It's a National Ceramics Education group. And the Finch Lane Gallery is one of many galleries that are sort of taking part in this conference. In fact, if you want to see ceramic work, this is your month. Everywhere from Logan to Provo, everywhere in between. And so essentially, Finch Lane has an incredible national artists are represented show right now called Rebel Girl. And so come check us out. Extended hours if you've been waiting to come in an evening. And so we're open like Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, which usually are not. And so it should be very well attended. I have some receptions and fun stuff over the next couple of days. And so come check us out. I know I have been bitching weekly about this ceramics.
We're all tired of it.
Preparation show. I'm tired of it. Working with ceramics, I love so much, but it is a whole. It's very fragile, and so it is set up. I'm really proud of the show and all the work that we've put into it. That I put into it. There's been some long hours, but that being said, it looks great, and you got about 3 weeks that you can check this thing out. So,
Shane, you got anything from Visit?
Yeah, we are once again nominated for the best Main Street in America by the USA Today Readers Poll. And yes, it's a bogus poll, and who knows what it means. But anyway, anytime
you submit for that, or how does
it's a independent panel. Everyone thinks it's pay to play. It's not. It's an independent panel of writers that say these are the best Main Streets in America, and we made the top 20 or whatever that they can vote on. I think we're currently ranked at 3 or 4.
What's some of the other ones around the U.S.?
We're always up against Howell, Michigan for some reason, and Emporia, Kansas.
My sister went to school in Emporia.
But we're also up against like Key West, Florida, and some big destinations with some pretty cool vibes. And so it's.
Have we ever topped that list? We've topped.
We've been number 3.
That one.
We've been number 3 on that one. There's the same one that gave us number 1 ski resort with Snow Basin this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether it's real or not or whatever, you can still say number 1, and you can vote every day on any device, on any platform. So if you have Google and Safari, you can vote every 12 hours, vote for Ogden. Just Google USA Today, best Main Street. It'll pull up, vote for Ogden. And
what's the criteria? What do they judge on?
I don't know. They have an independent little panel that selects the finalists, and we've been a finalist for the last couple years. I'm just thinking,
what do we need to do? We need to put
you need to vote every day.
Amusement park at the end of the street or something? Like, how do we improve?
Move Lagoon to where Union Station is sitting. I don't know what you do, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay. But it's a cool street, and it has a hell of a history. I tell you
get down and check it out. That's all I have. But
yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, one other thing. So this Finch Lane Gallery that I talk about all the time, the day job, starting now through, I think it's April 27th, we are doing our open call for artists. And so you got one chance per year to apply to be in the exhibition calendar. And so this will schedule us out for the 2026. So I'm booked through 2025 now. So this will be for 2026. And so if you are interested, solo shows, group shows, if you want to curate a show, it's a great opportunity. Finch Lane's got a great history. It is getting a little bit more competitive each year, but that's good. Competition's great, right? And so that's coming up. And then one other thing that I'll mention a couple of times this month probably is at the end of April, if you are an artist, particularly kind of that beginner-ish level, you want to sort of commit to being an artist a little bit more on the professional side, we are doing a 3-day professional development for artist workshop series with a group from Minnesota called Springboard for the Arts. And this is our 3rd annual one. And so that is now posted on our website, saltlakearts.org. And so just more free opportunities. It's never as sexy as spending a day in the studio, but you got to learn how to put a portfolio together and how to pitch your work and how to do the business stuff, right? And so we try to do as many of these classes, workshops, opportunities. They're free. You just have to show up.
On that note, the Banyan Collective is hosting the Brown Bag Brigade on April 18th. And so come here to the Banyan Collective, bring a lunch, and it is all artists, local artists here. and anyone's invited, but you can come hang out and you'll learn more about what we do at the Banyan Collective. More importantly, you can network with other artists in town.
And pick up after yourself, people. And so I'm immediately already thinking of the mess you're going to leave behind you.
Wow.
So you're welcome.
Wow.
You're invited. Make yourself at home. Take your shit with you when you leave. But anyway, I'm really happy that we're hosting. That's awesome.
I can tell how happy you are.
This is why I don't tell Todd. I don't ask in advance. Yeah. I just agree and then just tell him later, like, hey.
Oh, God, I'm such an old man.
Yeah. Get off my turf that's out there.
Off my AstroTurf.
Off my deck and off my turf. Yeah. This week's Outdoor Jukebox. So we're featuring Lapdog this week. So this is Love from Lapdog.
That's
Thanks
a great
for hanging
band.
out with us. Yeah. We'll see you on the next episode of the Ogden Arts Adventure Show.
If you love me, would you take me along to a grave? Make me pay. Or if I'm stalling, would you bring me on back to my place in a cage? Well, if you want to, you can run away. Yes, you can. And if you do, would you sketch me a space on your page with my name? Or if I'm younger, would you wait upon days and days till I've aged? Well, if I want to, I might run away. Them's the rules. You know you give me such peace of mind when you say that I'm okay. You know it take me right out of my mind when you say what you say. And there's nothing, no nothing that can ruin my day. Give me such peace of mind when you say I'm okay. No, it takes me right out of my mind when you say what you say. And then I get so sad when you've gone away. Give me such peace of mind when you say that I'm okay. No, it takes me right out of my mind when you say what you say. And there's nothing, no nothing that can ruin my day. I know.
Lapdog.
Thank you.
Lapdog on Van Sessions.